Hi everyone. This is the voice behind the noise. And I am Myron. The land area of Europe is about the same size as China. However, in modern history, Europe is more and more fragmented, with more and more small countries. So, how did Europe slowly become divided from the beginning of modern times? In the future, how many countries is Europe likely to break up into? Today, this program takes you to see the increasingly fragmented Europe in the historical dimension. Before World War I, there were still relatively few countries in Europe, 18 in all. Among the 18 European countries, 6 were the world powers at that time, namely Britain, France, Germany, Russia, Austria-Hungary and Italy. After the end of the First World War, these countries were divided because of the defeat of the Allied powers led by Germany and Austria-Hungary. Among them, part of the German territory was divided into Poland. The territory of the Austro-Hungarian Empire was divided into Austria, Hungary, and Czechoslovakia. As the Allied camp, Russia broke out in the October Revolution in 1917 and withdrew from World War I. During this period, Russia's territory was also divided. Part of it was given to Poland. Finland, Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania, previously annexed by Russia, declared their independence. In addition, Britain also won during the First World War. However, the country was also weakened by the Four-Year War. In 1921, Ireland in Europe became independent from Britain. By the end of the First World War in 1918, Europe had split from 18 countries to 27 countries. From the outbreak of World War II in 1939 to the end of World War II in 1945, the number of European countries increased and decreased. On the whole, in the early days of the end of World War II, the number of European countries was on a decreasing trend. First, look at the countries that were divided after the end of World War II. The first was Germany. As a defeated country, Germany was occupied by the Western Allies and the Soviet Army. The Western region was centered on the Bonn region, and the Federal Germany, also known as the East Germany, was established. The Eastern region, with Berlin as the core, established the Democratic Germany. Although Italy, Hungary, and Romania were also defeated countries during World War II, they did not move towards division. During World War II, the Soviet Union annexed Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania, the 3 low-lying Baltic countries. Therefore, in general, the number of European countries declined in the early days after World War II. After the end of World War II in 1945, Churchill's Iron Curtain speech in 1947 marked the beginning of the Cold War in Europe. By 1991, after the end of the Cold War and the disintegration of the Soviet Union, the number of countries in Europe once again increased sharply. Among them, the Soviet Union split into 15 countries. In Europe, Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania, which were annexed by the Soviet Union during World War II, regained their independence, and Ukraine, Belarus, and Moldova, which were formerly Soviet Union states, declared their independence, adding 6 new countries. In addition, the Soviet Union is not the only country in Eastern Europe that has been divided due to the influence of the Cold War. Czechoslovakia was divided into 2 countries, the Czech Republic and Slovakia. Yugoslavia is divided into 5 countries: Slovenia, Croatia, Bosnia and Herzegovina, Yugoslavia, and North Macedonia. Later, Yugoslavia was divided into 2 countries, Serbia and Kosovo. During the Cold War, Britain also declined further. The islands of Malta and Cyprus, which were previously part of the British territory, also declared their independence and established countries. After the independence of Cyprus, the civil war broke out in Cyprus, and the Northern Cyprus country was established in the northern part of Cyprus. But Northern Cyprus has not been recognized by most countries in the world. However, at a time when Europe was heading for a great divide, 2 countries merged at the end of the Cold War: the Federal Republic of Germany and the GDR. In 1990, East Germany was merged into West Germany, and the 2 Germanys were reunified, which made Germany one of the few countries in Europe that has gone from division to reunification in the past 3 decades. Then, how many countries might Europe be divided into in the future? In the future, it is still unknown how many countries might Europe be divided into. But it is undeniable that within some European countries, there has gradually been the voice of separation. The first is the United Kingdom, whose full name is the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland. Among them, the Northern Ireland area of the United Kingdom is the land that the British occupied. Residents of Northern Ireland today want to get Ireland back, or to establish an independent country. In addition, Scotland and Wales, which constitute Great Britain, also tend to be independent, and Scotland's tendency to independence is more obvious. In the history of Scotland, there has been a long history of separation from the United Kingdom and the establishment of an independent country. Next is Italy, which historically was also a divided state, which did not move toward unity until the 1870s. In today's Italy, there is a certain gap in development between the North and the South. The North is dominated by industry and the South is dominated by agriculture. This makes people in southern Italy, such as Sicily, Sardinia, and Naples, also have a tendency to separate. Finally, France and Spain. Among them, the French island of Corsica is a territory occupied by France and Italy in modern times, and the local residents have a tendency to be independent. The Spanish region has the famous Catalan independence movement, which may also lead to the split of Spain in the future. While most countries in the world advocate unity, some countries in Europe are running wildly on the road of fragmentation. Will Europe have a bright future? All this is still unknown. Okay, that's all for today. How do you think about it? Please put your comments or suggestions in the comments below and share your thoughts about today's topic so that we can have a further discussion. Your immediate reply is the encouragement that we can move on more videos in the future. Thanks for watching and have a wonderful day. If you like our videos, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. We will see you in the next video. Goodbye.